All right, so this is me checking into the Royalton CHIC Cancun. This is an all-inclusive resort in Cancun. I'm Nate Hake, the founder of Travel. Do a lot of hotel reviews here. Check out my guide to where to stay in Cancun if you need tips for finding where to stay. I'm gonna just give you my first impressions of this hotel here as I kind of walk through the room that I've been assigned. So we've got the vanity there, and then we come on in. Here's the main room. So this is an ocean view suite. I did not book this. I booked a sunset view suite, but because I'm an Marriott Elite ambassador, they upgraded me to this, so I really appreciate that. And they also left me a few other things over here in terms of elite gifts. A little plate of meats and things, which is a little wasted on me because I'm a vegetarian, but also got this bottle of, I don't know, some sort of sparkling wine, which maybe I will drink, but that's a nice gesture. Let's just go ahead and go out and see the ocean view right here. I mean, this patio is huge. You got a couple chairs. Now, first thing you're gonna notice when we see the beach is all this sargassum, all this seaweed. I'm visiting right now at the end of August. This is the tail end of sargassum season. And unfortunately, this is a problem in all of the Caribbean for pretty much from January, February, all the way until October or so. This seaweed just comes in and fills up the whole beach. Not great, doesn't really make for you to want to swim in there, although you'll see there are a few people in there trying it, so props to them. I don't know that I would want to do that, but you do have these pools down here to hang out in, so that becomes very important when you're booking a place in Cancun. You want to get a place with a good pool. So I'm gonna go check those out later. Looks like we got three good options over there for the Royalton, and then you can pay for something called the Diamond Club. And then the Diamond Club gets you access to this pool here. They wanted to charge me $150 a day, so I did not pay for that upgrade. It also comes with like premium drinks and stuff, but I just wasn't for me, so I guess I'll be over here with all the poor people. You can see the view of the hotel zone going down there. It's just all resorts all the way down, folks. If this isn't the right resort for you, check out my guide to where to stay in Cancun. We've got other resorts that you could maybe look at. I get kind of a bit of a party vibes here. I've never stayed in a Royalton brand before, so we're gonna see how that works. Anyway, let's continue on with the room tour. I don't really love this down here. I wish the hotel's not that old. It's only like 4 years and already showing its age. This patio is just enormous. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all this space. These two chairs feel a little empty out here. Let's go back in and see the room. I'm a big fan of them having this desk here because I like to work, so that's cool. They've got a nice little couch over here. It's getting, reasonably comfortable. Artwork is decent. I think the overall style is, they pitched themselves as a luxury brand. We're gonna see how luxury it is. I did not pay luxury prices. I'll say how much I paid at the end of the video, but it wasn't that much. This is the bed, looks okay. I would describe it as firm to supportive maybe. I think I'm gonna like that as a bed. Now, I always do check the beds to make sure they're clean, so caveat, if it's not, I'll cut back to the video and let y'all know. Then we've got a little space down here for putting stuff at your feet. Standard television, basic coffee maker, which is nice to have even though it's all inclusive, so probably won't be using that. There's a mini bar. This is also all included. We've got Sol, which is like a cheaper Mexican beer, so they're definitely not going luxury in the mini bar. 7-Eleven Pepsi products. Wish there was Coke, but there it is. And then these, I guess, are probably vials of water. Just over here is just ice and cups. We've got some drawers, nothing too fancy. Over here, nice big closet. Got a couple robes with the Royalton branding on it. They do have laundry service. I like that they leave a umbrella in there. Safe. Y'all, if you're in Cancun, you really should use the safe. That's what I would recommend. And then we got this entryway that I walked you in here through earlier. Nice little double vanities that are kind of part of the suite. Lots of counter space. Like if you're traveling as a couple with the ladies will probably love this. Lots of space to sort of lay things out. The hairdryer down there, not a whole lot in the way of amenities. I mean, they got some soap, they got some body lotion, tissues. That's about it. Let's go check out here. We've got the bathroom, basic stuff. I don't love these frosted glass doors. I wish they just put a normal door, but I don't know, y'all, that's just me. Like, I prefer the privacy. What do you think? And then this is the shower. So really nice big rain head. Looks like a decent shower. There is a little bit of grime here in the corner. It's not Like, and you can see it's wet because I did test it earlier. And I'll go ahead and turn it back on so you can see the water pressure is not fantastic, and it takes a minute or two to get hot, but at least it does get hot. And you've got really like a huge sort of area to do there. You've also got the little hand thing, and then they've got one of these, which I think is nice for hanging your swimsuits and stuff. So that's my basic impression on check-in. A couple things to bear in mind. I am a Marriott Ambassador Elite, so I got like all the gifts that we saw, and also that upgrade on account of that status. So remember that. I paid for a sunset view on the other side, so it doesn't have that ocean view. I paid $225. That was one of their cheaper rates, but it is all inclusive of food. It's only for one person. I'm staying by myself. I hate how the Cancun, one thing I don't love is they tag you if you like cattle, you know? But anyway, I don't know, what do you think? I think it's a pretty good deal in comparison to some of the other all-inclusives I've stayed at, but of course that depends on what the food is like, so we will see. That's my basic first impressions, just walking in on this room now. I mean, I think overall really pretty. I mean, it's huge. It's a lot of space, got the sunset view. I can't complain for the price that I paid. If you decide that this is not right for you, go check out the Travel Lemming guide to where to stay in Cancun. We've got other resorts. Maybe those ones are a better fit for you. And then I will go check out the rest of the hotel and post my thoughts either at the end or in another video, kind of letting you know what I thought about all the included amenities, the restaurants, all those sort of things. I mean, they gave me a big thing when I checked in with, well, I can't find it, but there's a bunch of different restaurants and stuff. So this is the Royalton CHIC, which is an autograph collection hotel. They just joined Marriott. So if you're part of the Bonvi program, I did feel like they got pretty good. I got an upgrade for being elite, so that was cool. And they also give me this special bracelet, which I guess gets discounts on premium drinks and things. So yeah, I don't know. I think overall this is a decent room and lots of space. So I'll try to do some more content and let you know my review after I've had a chance to check out some of these other amenities. All right, so I just finished my 6-day stay at the hotel. I wasn't able to shoot this video at the hotel. I thought I would do it when I check out, but there was just too much music everywhere. And I think that's my first takeaway from my stays, is that this really is a kind of place for adults who like to party. It's all inclusive. People are really taking advantage of the free food and drinks. There was parties every single day during the day and every single night. People were super friendly. I was there by myself, but I met a ton of people. I think that the Royalton CHIC really caters to groups. So like if you're looking for a birthday party, saw a lot of those, saw a lot of bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. There was even a wedding there, and I actually met a bunch of people who were at the wedding. They were all super nice. So I think if you want a place that you can just go with all of your friends, that's easy, it's close to the airport, and everything's included, one purchase and you're done, this is a pretty good place for a group trip. There were a couple other solo travelers, but there weren't that many of us, but everybody was so friendly. I met so many people. Again, I think probably the alcohol helps. So I wasn't drinking as much. The whole thing was kind of a little bit wasted on me, but a lot of other people were. So let me just talk you through all the main features of the hotel, and then sort of my pros and cons. I'll briefly tell you how much I paid for it, and then I'll let you know who I think this hotel is right for and maybe who it's not right for. So first up, I already showed you the pools out front. I got to use those yesterday. Finally, on my last day, I was working a lot, so I finally got down to the pool. The main public pool is nice. It was a little bit crowded. I had a little bit of difficulty finding a lounger. There's some really cool loungers up in front along near the water underneath the palm trees. Although when I tried to use those, I did find a little bit of bird poop on them, so that's a bit of an issue to watch out for, but you can put a towel over it or have the staff clean it up. There's also a pool on the rooftop. So the rooftop is called level 16. This is where they have some like big parties in the evening. It's actually open to guests from outside of the resort. They've got a separate elevator that goes up that's kind of open air, and you can get these views out over Cancun. But it's not all included up there, which meant that there just weren't as many people up there. The rooftop is incredible. I mean, they've got these giant pools, they've got a bunch of cabanas. I think it's really geared towards people who want to go and like get bottle service and have all their friends there. So again, bachelor party, birthday party, maybe you want to do that. I would try to do it on one of the days that they actually have like bigger parties going, because when I went up there, there were like 3 or 4 people who had gotten cabanas and were trying to make a party happen, but there weren't that many other folks. Some of the cabanas come with private jacuzzis, which is really cool. For folks who got that Diamond Club upgrade, there's like some restaurants up there at the top, but again, I didn't get that, so I didn't get to try those. The Diamond Club also has that private pool down below. In terms of other bars, the lobby bar was actually my favorite bar. It was really cool to just hang out there. That's, I think, where people are very social during all hours of the day, but especially before and after dinner. I would just kind of like get a Diet Coke, hang out, chat with some folks, find out what their experience with the hotel was. Most people generally liked it. Then on the third floor, there's the Taboo Lounge, which that's like more of a nightclub vibe. It goes until maybe 1 or 2 a.m. And they really do have, there were people dancing every single night I was there. I was there over Labor Day, and it was a lot busier over the weekend. And then after Labor Day, it died down. But even the Tuesday, last night, which was a Tuesday, it was still really busy. People were dancing. They were out on the dance floor. So you could really do your whole party there. And then if you wanted to go party somewhere else, just in front of the hotel, there's a walkway it's really a bicycle path, but there are almost no bicycles on it, and it goes all the way down to the main sort of nightlife area. It's maybe a 10-12 minute walk. That's where you'll find Coco Bongo, which is that really big famous nightclub, and all the other clubs around that area, Senior Frogs, etc. So for the folks who really want to go out for a late night, you could just walk there quite easily, or if you don't want to do that, you could take an Uber or a taxi. So I think it's really, really good if you want to have a group and you just want to party and you just want the details. You don't really want to worry about the details too much. I think that would be really solid. In terms of bars, the last bar to talk about is the sports bar. That's kind of inside of Taboo. It has a little bit of space that's outside and overlooking the beach. It's a pretty solid sports bar. I had a veggie burger there one night, thought it was pretty decent. Food, we got to talk about the food because of course this is an all-inclusive resort. I felt like the food was really good, especially considering the price I paid. I had much lower expectations. The buffet is one of the best parts. I actually ate at the buffet most nights because you don't need a reservation and you can just go in at any time and grab your food. It's a huge buffet. They have different nights where they do different themes. The Mexican night was really amazing. They had it all kinds of different food, all kinds of colors. I really enjoyed that there were lots of healthy options. I'm vegetarian. I felt like there was enough food for me. There was a good salad bar. There was a lot of fruit. There were really good desserts. For the meat eaters, there were several different grills. They've got tacos. They've got different kind of meats or seafood going on depending upon the night. So you definitely had lots of options at the buffet. And then that's the sort of thing where you just kind of sit down and then a waiter brings you your drinks and things. In addition to the buffet, there are other sit-down restaurants. Those you need to book in advance. And my first day there, I really struggled to even find out how to book those because in the app, there's a Royalton Resorts app that you download and a lot of information is in there about what's going on and the schedule and all those sort of things. But the thing that I struggled with was I just didn't see any available bookings. And maybe it's because I was by myself and maybe there just weren't one-person bookings. I'm not sure because I didn't feel like the restaurants were full. Anyway, how I resolved that is because I'm an Marriott Elite, I'm an ambassador, they had a really cool thing where they had a representative, a literal representative for all the Marriott members. And she gave me her WhatsApp upon check-in. And I didn't think much of it, but she checked in on me the second day and said, how's it going? I said, hey, it's going really well, but I'm not sure how to get a reservation for a restaurant. And she just took care of all of that for me. So I think that a lot of other people, if you stayed in one of the rooms where they have the butler service, I think that's one of the main things the butlers do, or making your reservations, things like that. If you don't book the butler service and you're not in the Diamond Club and you're not a Marriott Elite, be sure to square away your restaurant reservations. I would ask about that and check it because otherwise I struggled with it. Now, in terms of the restaurants themselves, I only ate at 2 because I really like Hacienda, which was the Mexican restaurant, so I just kept going back there. They had a really good, a chili dish. It was some sort of a filled stuffed chili that I thought was just delicious, good guacamole, good desserts. I also ate at Chopsticks, which is the Asian restaurant. I thought it was decent, had some noodles and a matcha cheesecake that was pretty good. The other restaurants where I didn't get a chance to try, there was a steakhouse, which was really popular. There's an Italian restaurant that I heard some other guests say it wasn't their favorite, so that's why I didn't try it. The Italian restaurant does, however, have a little pizza window in front, which lets out onto the side that's towards the beach. So you could just grab slices to go. I thought that was really cool. And then next to it was my favorite food and beverage establishment, apart from Hacienda, which was Insomnia Cafe. So that was just like a cafe, but it was a really good cafe. They had great lattes. I got multiple lattes every day. They were super friendly, the baristas, and a good smattering of other different snacks and things like donuts, croissants. They had carrot cake. They had little sandwiches. They had fresh cut fruit. They had like yogurt, and then they had like a little ice cream thing up front. And the ice cream, I did try that yesterday. The Oreo ice cream was really good. So that's great because you could just walk in and get that. I think the Diamond Club also has a couple other restaurants that I didn't get a chance to go to because I wasn't part of that. They're sort of more premium ones. I didn't meet that many people who had the Diamond Club, and the handful that I did meet, I asked them and they said they didn't feel like it was worth it in the end. I feel like the resort really delivers awesome just for what it is. And I'm gonna tell you the price in a minute. The price was like, I think it was actually one of the best values of it I could think of for an all-inclusive hotel. I ate all my meals there. I don't drink a lot, but if you wanted to, you could have a ton of drinks there. And I don't think I spent, other than maybe one night when I bought a bottled water when I was going for a walk along that pathway, I don't think I spent anything outside of the hotel except for tips. This is Cancun. Waiters never asked for tips, but I do think it kind of helps. And I also think, wages are low. I think it's in Mexico, I think it really does make a big difference to tip. I tipped every restaurant and every drink. I didn't see everybody tipping every time, so not everybody does, and they were still serving them. I didn't really feel like I ever had a problem getting service. I thought like the service was really all around very, very solid. People were super friendly. And again, that Marriott Ambassador, like that's so cool. I've stayed in so many Marriott hotels for the last few years, and I've never seen something like that, like a program like that. It makes sense because it's like a sub-brand of Marriott that they would have this separate ambassador, but I thought that was really cool. Okay, so we've talked about the drinks, we've talked about the food, they included stuff. Let's talk about the other things that they had going on. So they've got those pools up front. They would throw like parties in the pool. They had a foam party on my last day, which was kind of fun. They had lots of different events going on. At the gym, they had all kinds of different classes that you could participate in. One night there was a Mexican carnival. There's a theater out on the roadside away from the beach, like an outdoor theater. And one night they had karaoke, which was really fun because you have the crowd at the resort is really, there's a lot of Americans, but it's really just a mix of all cross-section of America, I would say, really. And so it was really interesting because you had everyone getting up and singing their favorite songs, and people were singing along. And it was a really friendly place. And I say that as someone who was totally solo there, and yet everybody was just in such a good mood that I really enjoyed it. They also had a Mexican, they brought in Mexican souvenir sellers that set up like a little Mexican carnival. They had a bull, like a little bull in an inflatable thing that you could ride. I did not ride it. There was like a pink party. There was a vaudeville night, which they had performers come in that were all dressed up. So lots of different events, everything going on. Every night there was some sort of party or some sort of thing going on. I was never for a minute bored, and I thought that was really cool. So I was really happy overall with that. Let's talk about some of the other things, services of the hotel I didn't use, but they do have. They have a spa downstairs. I didn't use that. I used the gym. The gym is fantastic. Oh my gosh, what a great gym. Tons of really new equipment. There weren't that many people in there. I went 3 or 4 times. They've got like a mat room with just an incredible view where I could put down a mat and do some of my exercises. And then it's just an incredible view right over the palm trees and the beach. And same thing for the treadmills. They just face the beach. So you've just got palm trees and this beautiful beach right in front of you. Really, really good fitness room. I stay in a lot of hotels, and this is very, very solid. And not that many people were using it because I think most people are there to party. But if you are like me and you care about the gym, they do have good gym facilities. They also had lots of other services. They had an excursion desk where you could book excursions if you wanted to go out and take trips and do different things, go explore beyond the resort, which if you've never been to Mexico before, I really recommend doing, because there is so much more to Mexico than just the sort of Cancun resort experience. I've spent many years in Mexico, so I spent most of my time on the resort or just kind of walking around in front. I really enjoyed it overall. Let's see, are there any other services that they have major parts of the hotel that I'm missing? I think I've got most of the main ones. They have a nice area up in front along the beach. It's kind of like a little boardwalk. At night, you could just kind of hang out there. I felt like that was really cool. And, overall, I felt like it really had everything I needed. Oh, even the laundry. I didn't use the laundry service, but I noticed that the prices were actually quite affordable. $1 to $3 per piece for laundry is really cheap for a hotel. So if you did need to get laundry done, they have that service available as well. I felt like the housekeeping was really good. They came in every day when I was at breakfast. They cleaned real well. I did notice a little bit of dirt and grime under the bed and things. It's a beach hotel. That stuff does happen. You notice that during check-in, but I was pretty comfortable during my stay. I love the room. I love that desk. I love having that beautiful terrace. I spent so much time out there just sitting around, watching the ocean in the evening. I ordered room service last night on my last night. It came pretty quick. I had a nice little late night snack sitting out on that terrace. I think it'd be really cool. Again, if you have a group, the terrace is really big, so you could have like multiple people in there to kind of have your own little private pre-drinks or whatever you wanted to have. The water pressure wasn't great. I ended up using a hand shower instead of that big rain shower because it just didn't have enough water pressure for me. Other things, I did see a very small cockroach in the hallway, but I alerted the staff and they did send people to spray. People put their room service plates out in front. They do come and clear them, but I didn't love that. I would have been it was really small, and I didn't see any other ones, but I didn't love that. The main con that I have to warn you about is the elevators. Everybody complains about the elevators. They are super slow. There were 5 elevators. One of them was out of service during my time there, but still, I think even without that, I've looked at reviews in the past and they still have elevator issues. And the reason is that you have to push, there's 2 separate sets of elevators, one on the left, one on the right, and they operate independently. So everyone pushes both buttons and then you go up and then the other elevator comes and nobody's there. So it results in a lot of ghost stops, and it means that going up and down means stopping a lot. And so I would really try my best to kind of like limit my trips up and down to going to the room. I found myself also using the stairs that connected the bottom 3 floors, which is where most of the restaurants are, to get around because I was just annoyed at the elevators. I don't know what the hotel could do to fix that. It would be good if they would get that system to talk together and then they could just solve that problem. Everybody complained about that. Almost everybody else I talked to really liked the hotel. Overall, I've had a great stay. I really thought the food was great. The room was awesome, like really comfortable place to spend time in. The drinks were free flowing, easy to get for folks who want to drink. It was a really good atmosphere, tons of stuff going on, gorgeous pool, gorgeous setting with that beach in front. There was sargassum during my stay, so I never went in the ocean and I wouldn't recommend folks to do that. So you have to know that if you're coming to Cancun, but that's all inclusive. All resorts in Cancun and really in a lot of the Caribbean have this problem during the summer time of year. And I don't know, there's not a lot the hotel can do about that. So overall I thought was really good. I would 100% come back and stay here. What I thought was the best about it was just such great value. So I paid for 6 nights, all inclusive. I paid $1,393, which works out to like 200 and do the math in my head here, but it's like 230 some odd dollars per night, which I think is a really good deal considering that it includes all of your food, included that awesome room, etc. I've seen the prices go up or even a little bit below that for there, and I think it's one reason why this resort was more full than the other all-inclusive resort I stayed in right before this. That was more of a family resort. That one was at like 35% capacity, and I would say the Royalton CHIC during Labor Day weekend was maybe at like 80-90% capacity, so it had a lot more people going than the other hotels. So if you do want more of that like party atmosphere, I think because they offer those cheaper prices, you can get them, they fill up a little bit more. So again, I guess that's kind of it for this review. I'm Nate, I'm the founder of Travel Lemming. At Travel Lemming, we have tons of great guides to where to stay all over the world. I've been traveling full time for 10 years. I live in hotels for a living. I spend more than 100 nights in Marriott's, which is why I have that ambassador status, but also in a lot of other hotels. I'm going to Dublin after this and to stay in some hotels in Ireland. We have guides to Travel Lemming to where to stay in cities all over the world. Just put Travel Lemming in whatever you're searching and you can find our guides. If you're going to Cancun and you've decided after watching this video, Nate, I just think that maybe the Royalton CHIC isn't for me, that's fine. Check out my guide to where to stay in Cancun, which I'll also put in wherever the description is, and that'll have more options for you, kind of talking about other places that might work for you. I think this is really a good hotel if for adults traveling with groups who want to party. That's who should stay at the Royalton CHIC, particularly ones who want a luxury but not snobby experience, right? Like this isn't like the highest level of luxury. It's not like Ritz-Carlton or something, but they did deliver on a lot of what I could want to see from a luxury hotel, which is like nicer quality rooms, good service, good food. Like I felt like this does deserve, I would call it like a lower tier 5-star, but for the money, it's an incredible value. So if you're looking for a whole party, I think it's likely to satisfy a lot of groups because it does offer a lot of things. And even for the people who don't want to party, which I spent most of my time working in there. My room was quiet. I had no problems with noise on the 9th floor, at least. I think if you were on the 3rd or 4th, you might get a little bit of noise from that lounge down there. Or if you're all the way up on the 13th, you might get noise from the rooftop. But I had no problem with noise. I slept just fine. And even when I wanted to like find spaces to work and stuff, I was mostly able to find that. So I think that it'll probably satisfy a range of different people within your group. I think it's mostly for adult groups who want to party. Obviously, if you have a kid, you can't stay there. I think, you know, if you're not someone who wants an all-inclusive, you shouldn't stay there. I like it a lot. Honestly, I think I'll come back and I'll probably stay there again. Let me know if I should do more of these videos, folks. We have a podcast you can watch called the Travel Lemon Podcast. We do other videos that are more highly edited. This one, I just wanted to test out a new format and be like, do people even watch this? Are you interested? I stay in hotels all the time. Like, I'm going to another one right after this. Would you be interested in me doing this every time? It does take some work, so I'm not gonna do it unless people like it. Let me know in the comments, hit a like, subscribe, and go check out travellemmy.com.